Welcome back, one and all, to another episode 156, I believe. I think it's 156, I really hope it is. But yeah, this is episode 156 of my journey series. My journey series through the Minecraft updates. We're still beta 1.7.3. Today, we're going to be doing something we've not done an awful lot of in this series, but we're going to do a bit of exploring. Reason being, we still have the old biome system in place currently, and I kind of want to just take some time and look over it. Try to explore, find different biomes. We might try and venture to 1.6, beta 1.6 generated areas with the tall grass and all that. So yeah, I'm a bit unsure as to what this episode is going to hold, but it will be very much based around exploration and the discovery of biomes, and we will be killing every creeper in sight because I need gunpowder. And I think taking creepers at low ground is a bad idea, but not when you're a pro like me. I mean, cough cough. Anyway, moving on. So, I've got a list of all the biomes next to me according to the Minecraft wiki. There's a very interesting article on pre-beta 1.8 biomes. It's got descriptions and everything. Oh, when you're a pro like me, you don't even need to fight them. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, I should stop that. Right, so, first biome we can tick off the list is desert. This is obviously a desert characterised by... In fact, you know what? I'm going to give credit here to the Minecraft wiki. I'm going to quote it myself. Or not quote it myself, but I'm going to read it out for you all. Give you the description of it. It says, a biome consisting mostly of sand, dead bushes and cacti. There are no dead bushes, of course, because these were generated before 1.6, before dead bushes were introduced. Of course, it was also loaded back in Alpha 1.2, which means there's no sandstone in this desert. But it's a biome that consists mostly of sand, dead bushes and cacti. Trees do not generate in deserts unless the player brings in dirt. No rain occurs in this biome. It spawns when the rainfall is less than 20% and the temperature is greater than 90%. Oh, right, okay. It spawns. Is that referring to the biome? What do you call it? The biome. Spawns is an interesting word. I would say generate. Since beta 1.0 and before beta 1.4, biome borders were rotated and didn't line up because of a bug. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Since beta 1.0 and before beta 1.4, we should try and find. Let's think. We loaded a few deserts in that time. The one over there, the one that has our sand quarry. So what does it say about it? Biome borders were rotated and didn't line up because of a bug which was more noticeable for deserts due to the fact they generate different ground blocks than other biomes. Ground blocks would... Oh, right. Biome borders were rotated and didn't line up. Is that to do with elevation then? So, like, this would be too high, this would be too low. Not 2 blocks low, but... too low, if you know what I mean. I wonder if that's the case. We should go over and check it out, because this one was generated before beta 1.0. The other one was generated after. I think we'll go and do that. First of all, this here, as far as I'm aware, should be a savanna, because according to the images, the savanna is the only one that has grass of this colour. Well, see, it's either a savanna or a shrubland, or shrubland, but I'm pretty sure it's a savanna, and that would be in keeping with the whole temperature kind of mechanism or feature, because it's next to a desert. So the description for savanna is a biome with mostly flat terrain and a few trees. Yeah, that checks out. We've got 1 or 2 trees. It is mostly flat, it looks like, although does that count as a savanna up there? Or is that a completely different biome? I think it's a different biome because there's more trees, and if I remember rightly, the grass colour's different at the top of where the ruins are mainly. Let's see, what else does it say? Alongside desert and tundra, due to the game reducing height variation. Oh wait, no. It seems to be one of the flattest biomes in the game alongside desert and tundra, due to the game reducing height variation at lower rainfall values. That's interesting, I didn't know that. The grass colour can range from dull orange to bluish grey. It generates with a temperature between 50% and 95% and a rainfall value less than 20%. Right, so probably similar to the desert then, in terms of rainfall and things like that. We're not going to check out the biomes over there because they've got a bunch of alpha trees with the different leaves, so I don't particularly want to get thrown off by that. So we'll go to the nether and we'll travel to the other desert. Right, here we go. Here's the sand pit that I've been using. As you can see, made good use out of it. I actually started digging another area way over there, but I wasn't getting that much in the way of sand compared to here. So yeah, this is what we're working with. I'll just show you the other area. Yeah, the other area is there. So I thought because this was a flat area it'd be easier, but there's less sand, so you don't make a loss, it's just bad for tool durability and all that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this was generated in, well, between beta 1.0 and beta 1.4, but I can't really tell what it means when it says, what does it say? Biome borders were rotated and didn't line up. Seems like it lines up in terms of elevation, but other than that, I'm not sure. Unless it means, like, this may not be a savanna, but maybe this is part of the desert biome when it's not meant to be. So maybe it's not the biome generation, but it's the biome kind of yeah, you know what I mean. It's like maybe the biomes generated the blocks, the seeds generated the blocks, okay, but the biome itself, like, the values are all different. So like the values of this equate to that of a desert, even though the generation doesn't. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I'm sure somebody could probably shed some light on it. In the meantime, we're going to go and fight zombies, and then we're going to go and head off to find another area. Find an area where there's another biome. I mean, there's obviously a biome over there that we've not explored yet. Oh look, clay. Should probably collect it. I've not. The funny thing is, well, funny or not, but peculiar, the fact that clay generates above the water in these updates. I mean, obviously, in modern times, clay is found in like river biomes, ocean biomes, swamp biomes, but it's all found under the water as far as I remember. I don't remember there being a case of it being above ground. Maybe it is and I've just missed it, I don't know, but I don't search for clay that often. But I seem to remember it mainly spawning under the water. I remember when 1.6, yeah, it was 1.6 that was around at the time, the full release 1.6, and this was when hardened clay was in the game, but Mesa biomes weren't. I remember spending many hours travelling around, collecting as much clay as I could, smelting it all up for hardened clay, and then turning it all into the stained clay, or stained terracotta, whatever it's called these days. But yeah, that was interesting. That was probably the biggest experience I have of collecting clay. And then they went and added Mesa biomes, and all my work was made redundant. So this is the first interesting sort of biome. It's clearly a forest of sorts because, well, as you can see, there are quite a number of trees, tall trees, small trees, birch trees, oak trees. We can tell what type of biome it is based on the colour of the grass. It's either it's not rainforest, because they've got more of a, well, they've got a different colour. It's either a seasonal forest or a regular forest, and currently I'm leaning towards seasonal forest because the grass is lighter almost. It's almost yellowy, more yellow. Anyway, we'll assume it's a seasonal forest, and I'll read out the seasonal forest blurb. It says, or description: seasonal forests spawn with a temperature of 97% or greater, and a rainfall value between 45% and 90%. They are commonly found between forest and rainforests, and near plains biomes. Oh, they're found near plains biomes, are they? Oh, between forest and rainforest. So that means we should be able to find a forest biome. See, the grass colour kind of changes over here, doesn't it? Is that just me? I feel like this grass colour is different from this grass colour, which means this is probably a regular forest. They are identical to forests except they have less trees and are only capable of spawning oak. They have a little bit of tall grass. Well, they got no tall grass in this case, but they're incapable of spawning birch. Well, that would check out, except we've got birch trees over here. So clearly, yeah, the grass colour's different here. This is a seasonal forest, this wee section here. But then that's a forest if you go over there, just a regular one. I'm wondering if this spawns here because of the warmer biomes over there. I know it doesn't say that, but I'm just wondering if that's maybe something they've not picked up on. Anyway, we'll tick off seasonal forest, and then we'll move into the forest, and I'll read the blurb for that. It says a biome with many trees and a little bit of tall grass. Unfortunately, the tall grass is kind of not a feature we can really check out, but everything else seems to be legit. Anyway, little bit of tall grass. Wolves can spawn here. Forest is the only biome where birch trees spawn. Okay, I didn't know that. It generates when the temperature is between 50% and 97%, and the rainfall is 35% or greater. So if it was, I didn't know that. So clearly, we'll know a rainforest when we find it. Not just because the grass will be a richer green, but also there'll be no birch trees. I didn't know that. Interesting. So yeah, this is a forest biome. Interesting. So I'm learning a bit. I've not read all of these descriptions, which is why it's interesting for me. We'll just keep exploring. We'll keep going in this general direction. What I was going to say, the reason I'm doing this sort of a video, let's summit that peak. Why not? Yeah, the reason I'm doing this is because obviously biomes change in beta 1.8, and I would like to spend some time just kind of appreciating these biomes. This is a beach, by the way. Beaches are randomly generated structures. Might as well read the blurb out for that. Not randomly generated structures. What's it termed? Generated structures. So for beaches, it says beaches are usually generated next to oceans. So I'm presuming that is an ocean. I think any body of water bigger than, you know, a few blocks squared is an ocean. Even if it, like, that would probably be more like a lake, but I think that's classified as an ocean. But anyway, so beaches are found near oceans or lakes, or maybe that's a lake. Or ocean, there's oceans, but there's no lakes. It doesn't say lake. So beaches cover all nearby low elevated shorelines, it says. There's no way up here. There is no way up here. The inaccessible peak V2. Should we just block up? I really don't want to. I hate blocking up. I'm just going to do it. What else does it say about beaches? They came in two varieties, sand beach and gravel beach. Ah, gravel beaches, yeah. Sandstone was located below sand in sand beaches. That was obviously after 1.3. Beta 1.3, that is. This looks epic. I'm glad we came up here. So yeah, there's a good example of beaches, like just a regular sandy beach. There's another desert over there, which I presume I've seen. There's a gravel beach over there. This is fascinating. And this, the biome we're in currently, I think is a forest. Might be a rainforest, but I think it's more of a forest. Anyway, back to beaches. Let's see. Gravel beaches had no such border and thus posed dangers like falling into caverns located right underneath them. Which is where the 404 challenge comes from. Due to changes in terrain generation in 1.8, beta 1.8 that is, beaches were removed completely from the new game. They later returned with Minecraft 1.1 as a separate biome, but were lacking the spaciousness of old beaches from the beta versions ever since, and only came in the sand variety. Cool, so some interesting stuff for you. You probably can't, well, you can see it through the clouds, but those beaches are a fair size, fairly substantial. So yeah, the point is, beaches like that don't exist anymore. They're unique to the beta versions. So that's interesting, and obviously gravel beaches no longer exist. Although, you might be able to get them in some mods. Maybe there's like a nostalgia mod or something. But yeah, this looks like a seasonal forest because it's no birch tree, or there is no birch trees, and the trees are just, you know, they're spaced out quite far. It's not as dense. So yeah, that's beaches for you. Beaches and gravel beaches. They are generated structures in this case. Let's travel further. That was actually a cool hill to go and check out. I'm wondering if we'll find any newer biomes with the tall grass. I'm not sure because I did load a lot of this area. So we've got a gravel beach here, which I obviously spoke about briefly there. We could speak a bit about oceans because we've kind of come to an ocean here, a pretty substantial one. Let's see, oceans, they are also classed as a generated structure. They've got quite a small blurb. It says oceans are huge bodies of water, with every single water tile being a spring. So I'm guessing that's just a source block. Prior to the adventure update, which is beta 1.8, oceans were generated as part of the terrain generation algorithm, but since then they're part of their own ocean biome effectively, which is obviously the case today. I'm guessing that makes things easier in coding, I don't know. Not saying they should have done that, I'm just wondering if that's the reason, or maybe it was just to classify them. A single count. Wait, hang on a minute. Oh no, there is grass. I thought that was gravel. Skeleton getting burnt up. Interesting stuff. There's also some more clay over there, which I'm kind of wanting to go and take. It looks like we'll have to sleep in a moment. Another reason I'm doing this episode, by the way, is because there was a time back in the day, I say back in the day, back when I was in Alpha 1.2, and these biomes had, you know, they were new. Yeah, there was a time period where I was like trying to explain how the biomes were different, and I remember I edited out so many takes of them in past episodes, and so yeah, this is kind of to make up for that. I'm pretty sure at one time I explained them, but this is just gives us something different to do. Also, it's better for visualization, and we get to look from an official source, although I'm not sure if the Minecraft wiki's an official source. There's lots of unofficial sources out there, of course. Doesn't make them any less, doesn't make them any less reliable. It just means they're not endorsed necessarily by the people at Mojang or the Minecraft community. I don't anticipate I'm actually going to use this clay, so I don't know why I'm getting it, but might as well while we have the opportunity. Right, let's continue. We'll continue over this way. There is a reason I'm heading in this direction, which you may or may not discover in a moment. Let's actually head up the hill, see if we get a nice view of the area. So yeah, this is a savanna biome, I would assume, on the basis that it is quite flat and it's got the yellow grass, and we can also tick off ocean. I mean, I think we've already seen plenty of oceans. Heck, our base is in an ocean, we've already passed that this episode. But, you know, I'll just tick it off anyway. So I saw a birch tree up here, which means this must be a forest. Interesting stuff. Is this a forest? It looks like it's got seasonal forest grass, but no, I guess the trees are, well, they're more dense. Look at that. That is incredible. I'll just screenshot that. Let's go and, I guess, go over there and check it out. I know we came past this way recently, and by recently I mean that episode where I got lost. But to be honest, I went all over the map. That episode, all over. I mean, I was mainly in this quadrant. Pause. But I explored a lot in that episode, and we can tell this is still a forest biome because of the birch trees, as I said. Should we try and climb the hill, maybe? Oh, look at this! I was about to pause there and go AFK, but briefly, this is terrain that I haven't loaded in beta. Well, this is beta 1.6 terrain because this is tall grass that spawned. Also, check out the colour of the grass. We have found a rainforest biome. It says rainforests are very wet biomes with... Hey! Stop interrupting. Alright. What a rude customer. What a rude student. Yeah, rainforests are very wet biomes with many trees which have a 1 in 3 chance of being big. Ah, that makes sense. There's a few big trees. Obviously 1 in 3 doesn't put them in the majority, but makes them more likely to spawn here than in regular forests. Oh dear. We've got to do it. We've got to deal with them. Look at those strafes, man. Can he handle the strafes? Anyway, let's see. It's instead of 1 in 10 like all other biomes. That's interesting. That is vastly superior, or vastly greater. They only generate oak trees and have a large amount of tall grass and ferns. That checks out here. Don't see any ferns though. So it also says a biome is classified as a rainforest if the temperature is greater than 97% and the rainfall is more than 90%. This could be the biome with some of the most cliffs and hills because the world generator reduces height variation at lower rainfalls. Right, so that would check out with this. Although there are birch trees here, so this must transition into just a regular forest. That's interesting though. So tall trees, it's 1 in 3 chance for tall trees, like massive trees, compared with 1 in 10. I think I saw that. Oh, we need to go to this other place. I think I saw that. But yeah, this is yeah, this is a massive hill. I mean, not massive, but you can tell that it's big enough at this point. Is this this is rainforest, right? This isn't. Clearly. Although it kind of looks like it. I don't know. It's obviously not, but that's just my observations. Anyway, so this is a rainforest. I've read out the blurb. That is the that's what it's like. It's quite a cool biome in the sense that obviously the grass is very, very green. Get a nice view of the ocean over there. There's another beach down there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Let's hop down and continue with our journey. Right. So, we found all the forest biomes, but then they've kind of been easy. The other biomes that we're looking for are maybe slightly different. Possibly more difficult. I'm guessing this is a seasonal forest. There's a lot of tall grass around, incidentally. Oh, pumpkins. Should we get some? We might as well get those pumpkins, because I could do with some. It's interesting that the grass is all, like, concentrated over there. I wonder if this is, like, a 1 point... I wonder if this is, like, pre-1.6 terrain. And that is 1.6 terrain over there. I wouldn't really know if I'm being honest. So this is the reason I came this way. Was because I knew there was cold biomes in this vicinity. We're just going to pick up some more clay. But yeah, these are called taiga biomes. I'm sure everyone knows that, but just in case you don't. We got squid. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention that beta 1.7 sees the bug where squid don't despawn fixed. So I wonder if that would help in any way with our squid farm. What was that? Looks like there's a spider right underground there. Should we go over and check it out? Don't see why not. Got a lot of clay, which is useful. Oh, look at this. I'm jumping without holding any keys. That's pretty funny. Anyway, yeah, I'll read the taiga description then. So it says, a snowy biome composed of mostly mountainous terrain and a bit of tall grass, spruce and pine trees, as well as ice can be found in this region. Spruce and pine, what's the difference? I thought it was just spruce and spruce, but there you go. So spruce and pine trees can be found. Wolves also appear more commonly on this biome than others. Snow is a common weather in taiga biomes. It generates when the temperature is between 10 and 50% and the rainfall is greater than 20%. In beta 1.8 and 1.0, taiga biomes generated without ice or snow due to a bug. Now, we do have, so obviously the taiga biomes are these ones here, the ones with all the trees, the ones that I'm standing in. But if we go over here, we should find... Is that a tundra region? That'd be cool if it was, because that means I wouldn't have to travel as far. Obviously, we've got all these ice sheets that I made reference to in the episode I got lost in. I didn't get lost, I just forgot what way round the coordinates were. I couldn't remember if it was 2000 or 2000. Right, so this looks very much like a tundra region, like a snowy desert, effectively. So, tundra. Snowy, barren terrain with very few trees. The occasional trees do exist, though very rarely. Ice can be found over water. Snow is a common weather in tundras. It generates when temperature is below 50 and the rainfall is less than 20. In beta 1.8, Notch also said that this biome would be left out until beta 1.9. This is because snow was causing problems with the new biome generator. Makes sense. But yeah, we got these massive expanses of ice. Is the ice actually freezing back over? Is that what's going on here? I learnt that in the episode where I got lost, I kept seeing these biomes, or these ice sheets, these ice oceans, and there was these pockets of ice that weren't, you know, they hadn't frozen over, and I was curious as to why they weren't, or if they would. Apparently, in that version, whatever version it was it 1.5 or... No, it was definitely 1.5, but apparently ice only generated when it was snowing, whereas that's obviously different in modern versions, and in this version, as you can see. So if we hang around here long enough, this will just turn into a massive expanse of ice, which would be pretty cool actually to build in. But yeah, not too shabby. Should we go under? It's not that deep, is it? It's too risky, we might get trapped. So yeah, this biome extends very, very, very far. It's pretty cool. But I would like to head back. And by back I mean back home. Or not back home, but back in the vicinity of... Oh look! A cow spawn. I guess animals spawn in ice. Don't think cows spawn in ice, or not ice, sorry, snow. I guess animals don't spawn in snow these days, or they just don't spawn in snowy biomes like ice plains, because that was always a common feature of ultra hardcore. If you spawned in like an ice biome in an ice plains, you were in for a tough game because there was basically no food. I had many an unhappy experience trying to survive in ultra hardcore in those biomes, especially on servers where the hunger was brutal. As we walk back, we've technically already seen hills and cliffs, which, like oceans and beaches, they come under generated structures. I'll read the description out for them. As you can see over there, there's some cliffs and stuff, so I guess they kind of count. I think we've been here. I think this is where we were. Yeah, it was, because I remember that big hill over there. Right, so we're in charted territory. Anyway, this is what it says about hills and cliffs. Mountains are hills with extreme slopes. Oh, that's somewhere I wouldn't want to fall. Mountains are hills with extreme slopes. Prior to the 1.8 update, these highly mountainous landforms were found in all types of biomes, but from the adventure update onwards are very rare outside of extreme hills and mesa biomes. They were generated as part of the terrain generation algorithm. Cliffs are often carved into hills and sometimes have caves protruding into them. These caves contain the same blocks which one would find at the same layer in the hill they are carved out of. Interesting stuff there. And I believe that was one of the criticisms of the adventure update and everything like that, was the fact that you no longer got variation in the terrain. Obviously these days you do get things like desert hills, and although, you know, whether you could really call that the same as what we've got here, I don't know. But there was a time period where the terrain was very, very flat. When I generated my first world, that was in 1.2.5, and that was fairly flat at that point. I don't think there was any. I think it was 1.3 possibly when the different biome variants came out. The desert hills. It was either 1.3 or later, but it wasn't around in 1.2. That's what I'm trying to say. And here we've got another biome that we haven't visited yet, unless I was going to say unless this is Savannah, but it's definitely not Savannah because there's ice regions, cold regions nearby. So this is probably, let's see if I can take a guess. It's not plains. It's probably shrubland. A biome with a few trees, that checks out here. There are no trees, except in the forest areas next door. No tall grass. I mean, we can't really tell that because I think this was generated prior to 1.6. It is... Oh, no, yeah, it's identical to the Savannah biome. It is one of the smallest biomes in the game, and only spawns if the temperature is between 50% and 97% and the rainfall value is below 35% and therefore too little to generate a forest. Interesting, I didn't know that, but that is interesting. So this is one of the smallest biomes in the game. That would check out, given the fact that, yeah, it's very small. Sorry, I just noticed these epic cliffs over here. We're going to go and check them out. I didn't see them last time. That's pretty cool. Look at that. That is amazing. Let's get another screenshot. Ka-ching. Right. I don't know why I did a till sound for taking a photo, but whatever. Yeah, look at this. So as I was saying, people probably were a bit frustrated that you didn't get epic stuff like this, because I mean, let's be honest. What terrain looks amazing? It's this stuff. It's always the mountains that people are in awe of. Because I mean, plains biomes are cool and all, but they don't look that spectacular usually. Plains biomes are useful for building in. I know if ever I was generating a world, I'd always make sure there was a plains biome around. Because obviously it's the easiest thing to build in. Right enough, I don't think I've built much in deserts, so this is kind of a... Wait, is that... Look! We found a dungeon in the side of a hill. That is epic. A creeper dungeon? Nah, I'm kidding. Creeper dungeons don't exist. Yet. Watch out for 1.15, folks. Oh man, 2 creepers. We're not going to be able to do this, are we? No! What an Egypt. What an absolute Egypt. Right, well, apart from that piece of nonsense there, we have managed to discover... Yeah, a pretty epic little dungeon in the side of a hill. Oh, look what I found! I've been looking for those for so long. I'm so glad we found it. And in this place of all places, if that makes sense. That is epic. We've got to summit the hill now. We absolutely have to summit the hill. Just trying to see if there's a way up without towering. I always prefer to find a way up without towering, except for earlier this episode where I just kind of broke that rule. Okay, I cheated a wee bit there, but we can get by. Oh. We're above the clouds now. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, look at this terrain. It's just fantastic. I'm sorry, but it's amazing. I've actually grown to enjoy this terrain a lot more through playing in it, because that's the thing. My progress game took place mainly in alpha, and I didn't really get to see these versions all that much, but since doing all these episodes of my Journey series, it's made me appreciate this terrain generation a lot more. I mean, I knew it was good, but it's one of these ones you knew it was good, but you just hadn't seen it. It's like, you know, think of a movie that you've never seen, but has riveting reviews, and you generally have never heard someone say a bad word about. You know it's good, but you just haven't seen it. And then you go and see it and probably don't enjoy it, but no, that's by the by. But hopefully you get my point. My point is that, like, I know this is legendary terrain and all that, but I've just never had the chance to experience it myself. So that was pretty neat. I quite enjoyed checking out those mountains there. And now we've still got a few biomes, 2 biomes left. Not sure if we'll actually find them. One of them is probably easier to find if we look for the 1.6 terrain. We've actually been here, by the way. During that episode where I got lost, I got murdered over there. Actually, did I get murdered over there? The thing is, there's long grass there which wouldn't have generated. I'm going to go over here, just kind of see what's cooking. There's some snow on the top of those hills over there, or on the tops of those trees, which is interesting. I just read something. I was reading the blurb for... Hey, brown sheep. I was reading the blurb for the swampland. And apparently, the temperature's low enough for snow to generate at higher altitudes there. Similar to what you would get... Look at that, more epic mountains. Yeah, similar to what you would get in modern updates. Oh, there's a place we could have gone over there. We'll go over there next time. I need to build a boat. All this swimming around is tiring work. Hey, look at those epic hills over there. We could climb every mountain, but at the end of the day, we don't have all the time in the world. This episode's probably like 2 hours long by now. This area is interesting, the area with bare rock. That might come into it as a generated structure, as in a cliff or something, I don't know. Maybe it's a generation issue? Not too sure. Basically, the reason I came over here was because I thought there might have been a plains biome. Apparently not. But this is swampland, and the reason I can tell that is because A, there's snow, and B, it's got nothing in it, apart from a few trees. So, I'll read you the swampland blurb. It says, identical to shrubland with only the unused colour variables, and the biome name differing. It generates when temperatures between 50% and 70% and rainfall is greater than 40%. Because 50% temperature and below causes snowfall, the swamp biome can have snow, although it will not regenerate and will rain instead of snow. Even though the swamp biome only generates above 50% temperature, snow can still generate on hills, because the higher the altitude, the higher the temperature that snow can spawn in. So that probably explains that, possibly. That's interesting. Look at that interesting hill over there. So yeah, this is a swampland. That's another one that we could tick off of our list. The snow biomes are very, very interesting. Oh, look at that. Look at that biome next to it. No trees and it's a massive hill. Oh, look at this, and more bare rock. This is fascinating. I wonder what causes this. I mean, obviously in modern versions, this would be... Well, this would generate in extreme hills or things like that, but here there's no parallel. Oh yeah, so basically if I break that stone, it's not coming back. That's the moral of the story. So yeah, one biome to go, and then we can venture off home. I'm going to go over and check out this hill because it looks interesting. I thought for a minute that was a biome border, or not biome border, but a version border, but I don't think so. We're too far out for that. Well, we're at the hill. Looks like shrubland, possibly. Although I think shrubland had lower hills, so maybe not. Which is kind of why I was drawn to it, because obviously it just seemed a bit strange. Look at that. That's still so spectacular. Lovely views of the land. Whoa, dear. It's wonderful when I forget to push the shift key down. Yeah, we're definitely going over there. Definitely going over there to check that out. Plus we still need to find a plains biome. Is that a plains biome? That could be a plains biome over there between the two hills. It's like a U-shaped valley almost, dug out by the glaciers of old. Seems like this is just high altitude. So it's, yeah, I think this is just as a result of the high altitude as opposed to this being a swamp. Although there isn't any trees around. Does that look like swamp grassland? Not sure. It might be a swamp. It might be a high altitude swamp. Hey, we found a desert. Not seen too many of them of late. I'm going to continue in this general direction. I really want to find a plains. Thing is though, we really need to stay in beta 1.6 terrain because plains generate with loads of tall grass, as I'm sure everyone knows. I don't think they're much different from the plains biomes we've got today. So much grass over there, so much tall grass, although that must be a forest. Could be a rainforest in the background though, because there's quite a few tall trees. Right, what is this I see? I see a biome with loads of tall grass. Could this be our hunt over? I literally just crossed from there. Look at that, another epic hill over there that I'll probably go and check out and waste a bit more time. We need to quickly sleep, unfortunately, because of the night. Come on, there we go. Hey, it's morning. The sun has risen. Yeah, this is definitely a plains biome. No question. Look at how much tall grass there is. Smallest plains biome of all time, but it still counts. So that means, according to my calculations, we have discovered every single biome, or found every single biome. Oh look, first tall bush. Or not tall bush, sorry, dead bush. First dead bush of the series. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. So yeah, we've discovered all biomes. What's that achievement called again? The 1.8 one? Is it... Oh, I can't even mind what it's called. But whatever it's called, that's what we've got. There's a lot of interesting terrain over there, including that cliffside. I think we'll head back though. There's another plains biome over there. Took us so long to find one and now we can't even move because of them. Let's see. We are... What's the course again? Is it 2000 or 02000? It's definitely 02000. Unfortunately, you don't get sticks from them. You can pick them up though, but we don't have any. We don't have any shears. I mean, we could go and get some, but I'm not overly fussed. Yeah, this is definitely another plains biome. The amount of tall grass gives it away. So yeah, we need to go to... Is it 02000 or 2000? It's definitely 2000. So we need to kind of go in this general direction. Oh, check this out. I found my first ferns of the world. Look at this. So these were added in 1.6 along with the tall grass and the dead bushes, but I hadn't found them before. But that's pretty cool. Don't know if you can reproduce them with like bone meal. Don't think you can. Could be wrong. I wonder what it's like these days in modern versions. Something tells me you can't regrow them, but... Well, there you go. First time we've seen ferns. Oh, look at that. Look at that. We've got a forest fire. Also, I've just realised I'm going the wrong way. I don't know how I've been going the wrong way, but I have been. Check that out. The whole thing's going up. Whew. I've not had one of these in the world before. Yeah, I've been going the wrong way. I don't believe it. Why did I think so? We should be going this way. But it doesn't make sense. Okay, well it's not that big of a fire, but, you know, because obviously fire spread was nerfed. Well, we loaded a good chunk of pre 1.8 terrain. That's good, I guess. So we managed to make it home, safe and sound. It's quite interesting travelling by night, but yeah, we managed to survive the whole way. Let's just put that down. I think I'm just gonna... Oh wait, that's full. We're gonna... Oh dear, oh no. That was so weird. I've not had that glitch in a while. But yeah, there's one last thing I want to do before ending the episode because, well, personally, I've had a lot of fun. It's been good to go and explore and check out the terrain. It does look a lot better with the tall grass, I'm not going to lie. Like, in some ways I like the classic terrain, but tall grass definitely adds something. Something unique, something cool to the already existing terrain, and it was fun to witness that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to get a couple of these and see if we can craft cookies, because I'm going to use them in the museum. There we go. So they're the only food source that stacks, and I think it only heals like half a heart or 1 heart or something. If you unstack it, does it restack? Okay, it does. Cool. And I guess the reason it stacks is obviously because it's, you know, it's not OP. It's very weak food. Okay, yeah, it's half. So let's put that away because we'll need that for the museum. And then... Alright, well, there you go. I'll go and place it in the museum, off camera, I guess. But it's going in 1.4 because that's when cookies were added. Cocoa beans were added in 1.2. So, yeah, we can't really place that. The reason I'm allowing cookies is because you could get them in 1.4, whereas you couldn't get cocoa beans in 1.2, I don't think. So, that's the reason I'm allowing it. I just didn't get it in time. I did the same with things like birchwood and clay and all that. Anyway, that will do it for this this episode. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed having a look around, and I hope the biome guide was useful or informative or just interesting. It certainly was for me. I learnt some new things this episode as well. But until next time, I'll see you when I see you.